as I was describing, these are for your protection. You don't need to unwrap them. You just have to wrap them around the top of the ampule, and so your fingers aren't touching the glass. Snap the top off. It naturally snaps at the place it's supposed to, but the glass is quite sharp. So now that we have the ampule open, we need to uncap the syringe and put it into the ampule. At that point, we begin to draw the liquid up into the syringe. We have the needle right down at the bottom, okay, to make sure that we don't get any more air than is already going in. And we're pulling the plunger up gradually, keeping an eye that it doesn't go through the top. All right? So now we've got the entire ampule, which is 1 cc, in the syringe. We've got the whole dose. We don't need to worry about getting air out. There is air, but because we're injecting this drug into the muscle, it's not as big of a problem. So we don't worry about that, because we might waste some of the medication if we try to squeeze air out. So we pick our muscle. This is a fake muscle pad, and we use a 90-degree angle, plunge the needle in firmly at a 90-degree angle, not on an angle, so it goes right into the muscle. Then we begin to depress the plunger. So we depress the plunger at the rate that it allows, until right down to the bottom, until you hear a click. When you hear the click, that's the sound of the needle retracting into the barrel of the syringe. This is really helpful because you don't have to worry about a needle stick injury when you're responding to an overdose. All right, so you don't have to worry about catching, a bloodborne illness from the person that you're dealing with. And you can also put the needle down and not worry about somebody stepping on it and needle stick injuries. So I'm going to put it in there anyway, just because it's a habit. So now we've given the naloxone into the muscle. The next step is chest compressions. All right, so I've just administered naloxone to Odie. Okay, this is Odie. I've lowered Odie to the floor. He's received the naloxone dose. Now I need to begin chest compressions. Is the next step on our list of things to do. So what we do is we need to landmark to find out where to put our hands for the chest compressions. Draw a line down the breastbone, or the sternum, which runs down between the breasts. The other line, so that's the vertical line. The horizontal line is across the nipple line. If you're not sure where the nipple line is, it's sort of around armpit to armpit. So we've done that. We put the heel of our hand on where those two lines cross. Our second hand, we put on top of the first hand, locking the fingers. At this point, we are kneeling over Odie to the side. My elbows are locked. I begin chest compressions. I'm going fairly deep. I'm going about 2 inches. That's how deep you need to go for the chest compressions. And at about a speed of 100 beats a minute. So this is about the pace. I continue doing this until Odie starts to respond. Odie will, a response will, Odie might start to cough, show signs of waking up a little bit. Odie may wake right up and sit up. But if Odie remains unconscious but is breathing, I put Odie into the recovery position. I've been doing the chest compressions for about 3 minutes, and Odie still hasn't responded. I get the other ampule and I administer a second dose of naloxone, because if it hasn't worked within, the dose should work within 3 to 5 minutes, and if it hasn't, it's time to give another ampule. Generally, people respond after 2 if they're going to respond. So after the second ampule, you resume chest compressions in the same way. If, on the other hand, Odie starts to wake up after 1 or after 2 or respond, Odie could either become completely conscious and sit up, or maybe breathing and recovering but still unconscious. If Odie is still unconscious but breathing, We roll her over onto her side in the recovery position with one leg bent and head protected or something under the head so that there's no danger of them rolling back onto their back and not choking on vomit or anything that could be obstructing in their mouth. So if you have to leave Odie unattended, it's a good idea to put Odie in the recovery position to go open the door or to go, attend to your scene until waiting for the emergency personnel to respond. Once Odie is in recovery position or is waking up, it's important to assure Odie that tell her what's happened. You've overdosed. I've given you naloxone. Help is on the way. It's really important that you don't let the person who's overdosed use any more drugs.